So as we go up from the Earth's surface, or you can say like this, or let us suppose that we consider it as a sphere, that will simplify our problem, and let it be the center, and let the distance be r. Now with this formula, if we are moving ahead, we are dropping something from height of 10 meter, 100 meter, 200 meter, 500 meter, even then the distance remains negligible as compared with the distance of the radius of the earth, because the radius of the earth is 6400 kilometers. So 6400 kilometers, if we add 500 meter, that it becomes 0.5, so it is negligible. But if the radius, but the altitude, the distance becomes very large, for example 100 kilometer, 200 kilometer, 500 kilometer, 1000 kilometer, then this height must be taken into account. But since it is not in our syllabus, these calculations we will study in the 11th class, so I am just telling you that at an altitude of 200 kilometer above the earth's surface, g becomes 9.23 meter per second square, or 1 minute I am rubbing it. So at an altitude 200 kilometer above the surface of the earth, the value of g becomes 9.23 meter per second square. So it is decreasing. Next, at an altitude of 1000 kilometer, the value of g becomes 7.34 meter per second square. At an altitude of 5000 kilometer, the value of g becomes 3.08 meter per second square approximate. At 10,000 kilometer, it becomes 1.49 meter per second square. At 20,000 kilometer, the value of g becomes 0.57 meter per second square. At 30,000 kilometer, g becomes 0.30 meter per second square. Now see, we are seeing that as we are moving away from the earth, the g is gradually decreasing. That means acceleration is decreasing. So here it can be shown within gm upon r square. So we have also seen that it is at the poles and equator, there is variation in the gravitational acceleration. Also with the altitude, if it is larger than 500-400 meter, then if it becomes 200 kilometer, 100 kilometer, then g starts varying, and it starts decreasing with the rise in the altitude. Now it looks as if we go inside the earth, the r is also becoming smaller and g is increasing. But the case is not so, and that we will study in the higher classes. Till date, we have to just remember that as we go inside the earth, the g also decreases. And at the center of the earth, what about at the center of the earth? At the center of the earth, it is 6400 kilometer. At the center of the earth, the value of g becomes 0. That is, there is no gravitational acceleration at the center of the earth. But we cannot, till date we have not gone inside the earth. Till date, human has gone only 12 kilometer inside the earth. Thank you. Now next topic is equations of motion for freely falling bodies. Now we have already seen that the value of g remains constant for all the bodies on the surface of the earth, and we have seen three equations of motion, that is, number one, V is equal to U plus AT. Second, S is equal to UT plus half AT square. Third one is V square is equal to U square plus 2AS. Now, see that here the acceleration is uniform. The condition is that the acceleration should be uniform. Here in the freely falling bodies, the G is also constant. Now, let us replace, we will just improve these equations for freely falling bodies. Instead of A, we will write G, and instead of S, we will write H height. So, this equation becomes V is equal to U plus GT. Second equation becomes H is equal to UT plus half GT square. And third one is V square is equal to U square plus 2GH. Now, here these are the three equations, but we have to understand the rules while solving the equations. First of all, initially, because freely falling bodies are always dropped, so initial velocity is always taken at 0 if the body is, or the stone or ball is dropped from some height. First thing. Second thing, that suppose a body is falling from a free fall, then this direction is taken as positive, and if someone is throwing body from the surface of the earth vertically above, then this is taken as negative. The convention is to take it as a negative sign. Now see, now this plus, when the body is falling, it becomes plus 9.8 meter per second square. So the equations are written like this as I have written here. But if the body is thrown vertically upward, then the acceleration is taken at, since there is deceleration, because the movement of the body is this side, but the force and the acceleration is acting on the downwards direction. So there is deceleration on the body, and when the body is thrown upward, then this is taken, the acceleration is taken as minus 9.8 meter per second square. Secondly, here when it is dropped, when a body is dropped on free fall, U is taken as 0, but if a body is thrown vertically upward, then its final velocity becomes 0. Second, last point, the time taken by a body to rise to the highest point is equal to the time it takes to fall from the same height. That means if a body, ball, stone, anything is thrown vertically upward to this height h, and let us suppose that it takes time t1 to reach the highest point, and after that it will fall, there is a free fall and it will reach the same point, that is ground. Let us suppose that it takes t2 time, then t1 is equal to t2. That means both the times should be equal. Now I am again reading this line. The time taken by a body to rise to the highest point is equal to the time it takes to fall from the same height. So this is all we were having. Now there is one assignment question. Amit buys few grams of gold at the polls as per the instruction of one of his friends. He hands over the same when he meets him at the equator. Will the friend agree with the weight of the gold bought? If not, why? So it is question number 10 from your NCERT book that you have to solve. Till then, okay, thank you very much.